ESL One Cologne is brought to you in part by Intel, Vodafone, MSI, DHL, Alienware, Betway, Logitech G, and PaySafeguard.
When you think Fnatic, you think of championship-winning Counter-Strike. 4 of these names continue that tradition, having lifted majors and numerous other trophies. The stars may have moved on, but the veterans of Fnatic work to define a new era of success for their experienced squad. Crims has rolled back the years to unleash a level of form superseding even the glory days of his deadly partnership with former teammate Olaf Meister. Now it is the Fnatic man standing as one of the game's best and routinely carrying his side to victory. JW and Flusha have won 3 majors together, the most in history, but will now work under Exist, longtime famed leader of rival NIP, to create a new chapter in the Fnatic story. From a young team to an old one, the years have built a mighty trophy case for the organization. Now they fight to put Swedish Counter-Strike back where it belongs.
Fnatic, a team that did impress us and lift the trophy in Katowice, trying to retain some of their former glory. Roster has changed, not only leadership, but AWPing presence, and they do manage to stabilize after what was an absurd stomp over on Overpass, and now we find ourselves, but it was just a mirage, and indeed, it will be a close game after all. We do have none other than Janko YNK Paunovic, and we have Chad Sponge Birchall. I'm going to speak slowly, because I don't know how much we have to say, and we've got a fair bit of time to talk. Chad.
Oh, we do we?
Well, I mean, it's 7 minutes, but I just...
Yeah, but time's relative.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And who said that? Whose theory was that?
Some genius.
Time is relative?
Probably Einstein.
It was all his wife, anyway.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I always forget about that one. So Counter-Strike, let's get back on topic, and instead, let's just start by breaking it down. My first question to you, Janko, is just going to be the case of, did FaZe decelerate? Did we just see the well-observed theory of FaZe, when they're on this just warpath, sometimes they do take their foot off the gas?
I think they did maybe a little bit, but the main thing was they didn't have that strong start, right? It was Fnatic taking early control, and of course you don't have as much freedom to go for those aggressive plays, aggressive peaks, even aggressive setups when you're 4-1 down, and you know if you lose that round, you're going to have to eco or double eco even, right? You need to go for some other plays, and you can tell Fnatic they were not going to be faced by that overpass game. They were going for aggressive plays. You saw JW aggressively being boosted into window, going behind enemy lines, things like that. So I think in that sense, it was a really good performance from Fnatic.
Yeah, look, if there ever was going to be one player to worry about getting blown out of the water and not being able to continue and have any impact, it probably would be Draken, but he even still had his moments with the AWP, right? Sure, not a carry performance by any means, but he wasn't underperforming. He was there hitting the shots that he needed to, had some of those close-range duels, trying to bring out the combat AWP a little bit more, so there's some positive vibes for him there. But in terms of the game as a whole, it didn't feel overly exciting by any means, right? There was a couple of rounds, you know, that were post-plant situations, could have gone either way, but it felt quite clear-cut.
And can I also say some mistakes were being made? I mean, the fact that FaZe were taking so long with their retake, no kit, then Nico's running away and dying to the bomb, and there was multiple examples, which admittedly, I'm just repeating what you were saying in the green room, as in the rounds, I can count on 2 hands how many times you were observing mistakes being made by a team that made none in the round prior.
No, it felt very disjointed, for sure. I mean, even that round you referenced started off by Nico killing JW. He was jumping into bench, but they forgot the bomb, and then for 30 seconds, nothing happened. So what are you supposed to do if you're FaZe? What are you thinking? Like, you're probably not thinking that they forgot the bomb. Are they trying to fake you out? Are they just waiting because teams now do a lot of the waiting game, waiting for their opponents to make a mistake, right? So it's very difficult to get a read in that sort of a situation. And there were quite a few awkward rounds like that with people being all over the place. And it came down to a couple of fights, basically.
I think something historically, especially with the core of this Fnatic roster, is how well they always play in the mid-rounds. It kind of, you don't look at Fnatic as a strategical team. Sure, when Golden came in, they had some more opening moves and more strategies in their book, but something which they've done very well historically is once they've got the ground, they've had the opening exchanges, they would always outplay their opponent in the mid-round because they could communicate so well and they had this natural chemistry. You think about how long, like they've mentioned in that feature, JW and Flusher won the first major together, the first major ever, right? We have to roll back the years, something cruel to go back to there. So, and they're still playing together now. And you add Crimson, that he's been a long time in that roster as well. So that core, they play off each other fantastically. Absolutely. And look, this wasn't one where JW needed to drop 30 kills. Everybody was contributing on this Fnatic roster, and yeah, positive signs going to the third map, which is Inferno. Who would have thought?
Yes, another Inferno.
Another
In fact,
one.
speak of Inferno, now is a perfect opportunity to give you somewhat of a B-Stream update. I'm hearing it in my ear. MIBR taking on Big. In case you're wondering what's going on there, yes, MIBR XSK are not necessarily guaranteed to go to the Lanxess, and standing in their way is Hometown Heroes. It's the German side who've never had an opportunity to step out into that arena. Never, always the bridesmaid, never the bride, never the center of attention, and never in front of their home crowd. Now they're one map away from doing so, and it's on Inferno.
They played there last year.
Doesn't count.
It was a show match. Yeah, it doesn't get painted with the same.
Yes, Meisterschaft is a show match too.
Yeah, basically.
It's the German Premiership, which is equivalent to the UK Premiership, and I'd like you to name two teams from that.
Reason Gaming.
Fish 1, 2, 3.
That's actually one. Yeah, okay.
Reason Gaming.
And
I don't know if Reason's still around.
Fish 1, 2, 3. What's the other one? There's one that has a lot of Estonians in it.
United Estonia. That was a team once.
He's wrecked you there, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has, actually, kind of.
Yeah.
It was probably 2 years ago when I last followed UK Prem, and those were two teams in it, so I don't
Well,
actually
Yakko
know.
watches all the Counter-Strike. I don't know if people know. He watches all levels of Counter-Strike.
He's like the Rain Man.
Looking for the new Smuya,
Yeah. And talking of Smuya, he had a great second map, so be sure to check in on that one. It's on
3-3.
It's on the B stream. Yeah, 3-3 is the scoreline. You want to go check it out. It's going to be, of course, MIBR versus Big. Well, going into our last map of the day and of the series, we do have another Inferno to indulge in.
Or put out, hopefully.
Massively interesting in terms of result. Obviously, both teams want to go straight to the semis because more than anything else, it means you're not on the same side of the bracket as Astralis up until the grand finals. But this is a very interesting one for FaZe because we know Fnatic was very good on this map with, before the roster changes, it was one of their favorite maps to play. For FaZe, it went from being really good to being actually pretty questionable and pretty shaky. We saw them even veto it versus MIBR. That might have had something to do with Inferno also being MIBR's strongest map, but the point being, if FaZe is going to win this tournament or even have a deep run, get to the finals, they need to have a good Inferno because we see how much it is being played. So this might be a good gauge of where they are with Chroman on the map.
And I mean, look, if we're continuing to be realistic, I think it's a conversation worth having, albeit briefly. Intel Grand Slam, a huge conversation topic for FaZe. And if they really wanted to shot at it, avoiding Astralis for as long as you can probably makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, you don't want to lose this and end up on their side of the bracket because they've already beaten G2 earlier in the day. They're straight through to the semis. You want to make it that grand final. You want to give us the storyline of Astralis potentially denying them or FaZe overcoming their biggest right. Exactly. And Yanko's bang on. The reason that's so important is the grand final is the best of 5. In this situation, you have to look at what is worrying for FaZe on Inferno. Yeah. And for me, it's their T side when it gets super late round. It's very disjointed and nobody really wants to make a move. This is where Carrigan, for me, he is that barometer for how they're going to approach the game. If they can get stuck in and he can find some entry kills and then they can snowball off the back of him, that's where Nico comes in. That's where Rain comes in. The Stars can find some kills. Guardian with the AWP hopefully finding some impact here. That's what needs to happen. Someone needs to be setting the tone for them.
You have to remember, even in that grand final in Sydney, it was the CT sides that won the game for FaZe in the grand final, really barring Cash, which is probably the most T-sided map we have in the pool at the moment. So yeah, obviously you need to get to some level, especially against a team like Astralis. Their own CT sides have been amazing at the moment. But we might be getting a little bit ahead of ourselves talking about that potential matchup. First and foremost, FaZe, if they want to get there, they need to beat Fnatic here on Inferno.
Yes, they do. One map then left in the evening. It will all reach its climax, its crescendo on Inferno. We'll leave it with you, Moses and Pansy.
Thank you so much, and indeed, this is a fun one to get our teeth sunk into. First map was a whitewash. It feels a long time ago, but it was quite the same, and Chroman and Rain did some dirty things. But Fnatic on map 2 looked far better, way better off, and they even said in the interviews afterwards, the next 2 maps, they're our territory.
We'll see if that comes true. Obviously did on Mirage. At the moment, they have a good start. They've put Rain to a very passive position. Guardian's going to walk right into it. He spots the shoulder, goes for the peek. He thought that was going to be a headshot for sure. He thought that was going to be a one-bullet kill. He's still sticking around, and he does eventually find it. Fair play to Guardian. Flashed off the angle, but still in no hurry to get into cover. It's a 5-on-4 now. Exist and Flusha with 2 smokes. They're going to hit this B bomb site. Trouble is, Kerrigan has rotated over, so there's going to be 3 defenders here. Nico and Guardian and Kerrigan.
Guardian's willing to sacrifice himself a little closer than the others, trying to catch the timing on the smokes and the play up forward. Perfection on one and the second. The third as well. Guardian, someone stop him already. He doesn't need the help. He knocks them all down himself. That's 5 for Guardian. And that's a statement piece coming into this crossroads of a map.
I can't believe he got all 5 there. There was so many times I'm just like, oh, don't go aggressive, don't go aggressive. And he gets every single frag. That is beautiful stuff. And you want to talk about someone you don't want to let get going early on in a map, on a deciding map, no less. It is one of the best Alpers in the world. Laughing, having a good time after a round like that. Buying right back into it, trying to take all the wind out of their sails immediately. Fnatic with CZs, with armor, not a lot of utility. Good nade damage, good Molotov damage, and Crims is forced into the open. He's flushed out, and he's taken down. One more flashbang for Nico coming out. Flusha is completely blinded. He's going to check this, certainly, and he does spot it right at the last second. Grabs the headshot, and they seem very switched on early in this opening half.
Yeah, they've come out with a fire under them burning. It feels like a very different look from the last map. It feels aggressive, it feels assertive, almost abrasive at times in the way they're approaching this. So you've seen some real dominance from Guardian to start with. That's a nice piece, right? That starts them off well. But then Nico's aggression down Banana was relentless.
Oh yeah, it was, and he wasn't going to stop. No way in that. So it should be 2-0. Draken ran back to get the bomb, which is a nice touch, but maybe getting a bit ahead of himself. He's got a lot of FaZe members to battle through before he can even think about planning. And they're playing it passively. They know they don't have to push any longer. Just sit back and wait for his appearance. Crossfires or 2-man setups everywhere on the map. Kerrigan spotted on that jump, and there's the peek from Nico. Merciless. Fnatic is going to be put back to just unarmored Glocks, everyone at 1900 or 1950. Zero kills for Fnatic.
Nil point. Not even me. And I'm seeing the nade in the hand of Nico. He's got the spawn. That's going to be just placed at the bottom there. And 0 kills means, you know, 0 prizes. You get sweet soddle, Glocks galore, and that is it. So for Fnatic, this is one of those rounds you maybe discuss something, have a chat through. It depends how you want to approach it. They may not be a team who needs that, but you're not expecting much more. A bomb plant would be wonderful, but it's very hard to just get away with that cheekily. You've got the, oh, we'll try and pour out of apps, but people are very attentive on their balcony these days. It's not so easy.
Not just that, but we've seen it in every single round. FaZe has been aggressive on some level. Even this one, Guardian peeking and getting one of those early kills. So it's just like, even if you wanted to do something fast, you're going to have FaZe members looking for that information. And even if they're not getting a kill, they know what's coming and they're able to rotate into position. There's going to be a lot of obstacles, a lot of things that Fnatic has to overcome in this first gun round. Nice peek from Rain. He does get dinked, but Guardian's got his back, finding Crims and even Chroman with JW, and still no one falling until just then. Rain's ruined it.
Well, let's hope they can build off this now, Fnatic. They've got the taste of blood for the first, and now they need a lot more of it. 3 rounds sit with FaZe. Orp on Guardian, big spawn for it too. If he's feeling himself after that pistol round and the follow-ups.
There's a lot of money built up already, and if these SMGs get traded for AK-47s in a winning round, that is going to be something special that FaZe can have behind their belt into this.
Go.
He's going 40, knows there won't be an AWP on the opposing side, but no one swings wide enough for him to find. Flusha. It's not Flamey. Takes a little bit of Molotov damage.
He was in the fire,
yeah,
flames, flushes. There was a lot of things going on there. Smoke? That smoke's not ideal. That could mean there's pressure. Yeah, Guardian's fully blind here. I don't know if he's going to make it out alive. 2 players. Can he get any more? No. Takes down Draken, which is lucky to get that really with the pressure surmounting as it was. Rain does the dance. Oh my god, this man's a beast! How's he still alive? Exist had to reload as well, somehow still sticking through this, and Kerrigan in the back does get found by JW, who wants to fight fire with fire, and he just about has to. Very capable of doing so, though. Crims catches out Croman on a bit of a play, and this has become a brawl.
Yeah, and that was really cool to watch. Everyone just battling it out. Rain just tapping away as he runs out of ammunition as well, knowing he has to conserve his bullets. Finds the one tap. Nico's rotated back towards B, though. He spots the shoulder of Exist, and Crims is too low to challenge. Only 10 HP. He's got to fall back. He needs to go back to JW and hope that JW can open up this bomb site, and that's a missed shot. That could have done it. That might have been the round right there, and Rain is on notice.
How many lives does Rain have this round? He's gotten away with it twice almost here. Readjusting. He does get to see the head if he walks out. That's a nice little angle if you haven't seen that before. And they're both there, very low as well. Crims makes his time on the play. I don't know if he was spotting him or not. 10 HP on Crims is very, very little. And there's Rain stepping out, stayed alive. And the first shot that he was playing up on quad was so darn good.
Yeah, it really was. That was nice. And even Exist was spamming through the smoke to try and help his teammate out. He ran out of bullets, so he couldn't chase down Rain. Very fortunate to get away, and even fortunate that JW missed that shot with the AWP. So 4-0 for FaZe on this CT side. Guardian is 10-1 off the back of that ace. Yeah, this right here, 3 bullets left when it happens, and gets them with the second to last. And he finds the closing frag. Back to pistols we go. This time there's some utility and armor purchased up behind it for Fnatic. Something they can work with. Croman spamming away. Ooh, JW's coming through the fire. I think Croman might have heard that last tick of damage from the Molotov, and he falls away. Falls off it. Very aware. Nice little headshot there as he peeks up.
As impassioned as Fnatic might be at this point, still struggling to make it count. And Kerrigan on the other side. Fiercely defending this as he can. Plays a tie on the smoke well. Actually, though, out. Just being Draken. What is going on? It's Nico on the side. He gets outplayed by Draken, who somehow got away with his life. The most awkward exchange I've seen in a while. They get a bomb palm for it, too. And with 4 alive and a rifle stolen, this round is a questionable one.
I've used the term struggle bus pretty liberally at times. This is a good example of what that word exemplifies. Good shot from Rain. He's dinked up, but Guardian's got his back. Watching for the follow-up peek. They need to clear out Exist. Everyone's blind. Everyone except for Kerrigan as he comes in to make up for his earlier mistakes, and Rain finishes off Crims. And yeah, that did get dangerous, but they handled it pretty well, only losing Nico. So, I mean, not bad, all things considered. They don't take a whole lot of economic damage. The full losing bonus was going to be there for Fnatic anyway, so the plant doesn't matter a whole lot. But yeah, that was weird. You don't want that to happen too frequently.
That was just odd. Somehow he meets Kerrigan at the most awkward time. They both. It's like when you say goodbye to a friend, they both walk the same direction. You're both, please, one of you go the other way. I don't want to be here. So they just awkwardly stare at each other for a while. He leaves, kills Nico somehow. It's just, what was that?
I didn't really follow that train of thought on the friendship thing. And
if you never say goodbye to someone and then you both walk in the same direction, it's literally the most uncomfortable thing in the world. Kerrigan, speaking of discomfort, feeling a little bit hot around the collar. As he is taken down to 33. 3 players on Banana as well. But somehow Rain's found a kill there. Was that a spam through apartments? It must have been, or maybe he saw enough of the other player. I'm not sure. I don't know how far he pushed out here, so that could have been something. But Nico's still continuing forward, taking out Flusher.
That was a spam into the window room from the end of halls. Not bad from Rain, and oh, Guardian, how did he recover there? JW brings him down so low. It's going to be frustrating if you're one of the Fnatic players, and Guardian's still going to challenge. He's not going away from anything and almost finds that, but Draken's too quick, and there goes Croman. All of a sudden, Fnatic might feel like this A bomb site is far more open than it is, but the rotation came in quick. Kerrigan's already arrived. That means Rain can get in towards pit and feel secure. They still have to worry about that AWP. Nico is ready for a flank, but he's got an AWP, so he can't just kind of book it.
He's holding a dangerous enough angle. Exist, the timing is good. Works around now, Kerrigan left in pretty much a 1v2 until Nico arrives. He's good enough for one, but can he get the second? Draken's going to scope in. Adjustment is perfect, but it's 30 seconds. You got a 1v1 to handle now. Draken down to 7 HP, goes for the plant towards quad. He's not going to know this, and Nico could get there in time. Spots him on the cross. doesn't expect the position, and it's job done for Nico coming back in.
That's close, though. Almost that miscommunication between Kerrigan and Rain, that Kerrigan was giving up, you know, the position on that wrap side. You can see that's kind of what they're chatting about right now as they look at each other.
Well, Kerrigan looked at Rain. Rain just went, I'm staring at my screen. You let me die.
Kerrigan's like, bro, why'd you do that? And Rain's like, what do you mean? You screwed up.
Yeah, frustrating for Fnatic. Like, could feel for JW in that situation.
You really do.
But then again, JW's done that to a million players. If there's anyone who's going to get it done to them,
it doesn't make you feel any better about the situation.
Oh no,
JW.
No. You don't go. Finally.
There's a nice jump for information from Croman as he falls back. Spotted at least 2. Guardian's got a narrow angle towards alt mid. There's a timer on this. He doesn't have anyone in lane watching Boiler, so he's got to be cautious. The Molotov comes in to keep him safe a little bit longer. Going for a timing shot, hoping someone would walk in, thinking that smoke would keep them safe. Now Kerrigan pushing towards the base of Banana, but falling back, and so is Guardian. A lot of pressure put on him. He's down to about half HP. Fnatic's going to push forward this. They're not going to slow down. Rain and Croman to hold. It's got to be a crossfire. Good trade from Exist. And Rain's still alive in pit, though. That can keep Fnatic actually just cordoned into the bomb site. They won't be able to have great post plants, and even he's going to add one more onto it. Flush has just got to try and get this planted. Draken's doing the best he can. And it's a 2-on-3. Still possible for Fnatic, but it's very sketchy.
Flusher. Back to the wall, depending on Draken to try and get some of this attention away from him, but a tricky position for both. This feels like it could be another run, but the double up and the retake. One gets switched out for Guardian. He does have the M4 to play with. And Flush is still locked in here, but caged animals, if they get unleashed, are damn deadly. Smoke goes in. There's one for him. Spots out, Rain sprays in. It's just not there for him, though. And Draken now has to do it all. A 1v2. The bomb's ticking in his favor. And, well, Rain's buying time, but Draken could still go on a swing if he can, but the defuse comes out, and Rain denies any of this.
Rain just outplays you. You can see Draken trying to pre-fire angles. He thinks Rain's going to appear, but never committing to that fight until he knew it was just peak or nothing for Draken. So 0 rounds still for Fnatic, and now we're starting to get that feeling of being similar to Overpass. It was a very slow start for Fnatic in that they were blanked for the majority of it. I think for 14 rounds it took them to get their first. It comes down to, even if you just look at the scoreboard, despite the fact that they've had some success in getting into the bomb site, there's not a lot of kills going their way. 12 total for the Fnatic side, less than what Guardian has.
Again, though, Croman, I think, got a good spot out there, getting so much information, but can't get information on that sort of play. Exists going to be the one to find Guardian to start with. That could spur on the attack now, create this warlike approach from Fnatic as they do lead their way towards A, but the problem still becomes that they don't have a round on the board. These rounds have been close. They've been getting plants. They've been pressuring. These rotations are good, and they pulled over the additional man from B towards A.
Nico all alone at the B bomb site. A lot of faith in a player like him to be able to hold off the attack, make the right decisions, so you can stack 3 players in this situation. Tough part for FaZe is they're running out of that utility that they would love to have at this stage in the round. There's still a minute left, just under it. Losing players as well as the flashbangs. Nico has one smoke towards the B bomb site. That's not going to be used too much. Good off angle from Rain. No one there to trade with Exists, and Croman finding one. We found the equalizers. It's a 3-on-3 now. And Fnatic going to continue to push forward through lane. Rain can create this crossfire. That should signify that they're getting close up. So are the Molotovs, so are the nades. The peek from Rain, big kill onto Crimps. It's Croman's turn, but he can't handle it. No HP, and Fnatic have let this one slip away. A 5-on-3 into a 1-on-2, and Draken with the AWP has to clear so many different angles, and it's not going to happen. 4 kills from Rain to pull FaZe back into the round.
This matchup, it feels so drastic, even though these rounds are still such a grudge match between these two.
The problem that Fnatic's having at the moment is when they're finding the advantages, like Exists just kind of dry peeking on his own towards Rap side. Why are we not playing the trade game when we have a numbers advantage? That's always my question. Is just like, no matter, even if you lose that fight, if you're Exists, if you trade that kill, you still have the massive advantage. And then also you have a second front onto the bomb site to attack. You can pinch it. But we've seen a number of times throughout the series that Fnatic with the 5-on-4 or 5-on-3 kind of allows their players. It's one of the, I guess it's like the double-edged sword of that kind of style that they like to play with a lot of individual freedom, is that you're going to see some of those mistakes come out.
And after was such a good map 2, even though it was a bit of a grind between these two, this would be a bit of a blowout for map 3, if I'm honest. Map 1, it feels like that was just like an anomaly. I can't say words. And
An anomaly?
thank you. Let's just not go back to that. But now it feels like maybe map 2 was the more questionable one, where Fnatic was able to bring it so close and actually take that victory.
Oh, Rain, you cheeky bastard. Oh! Oh, no.
Feels bad.
It just gets cold cocked by Crims.
Feels bad.
Yeah, the follow-up aggression.
Oh, these two are so brutal to each other. And speaking of brutal, it's very close in the other game on the B stream as well. 8-7 right now between Big and MIBR. But back to this matchup, because this hit is coming in. And Guardian being tested on all fronts, somehow still alive, somehow still keeping him at bay. What is that, Guardian? He goes back for, he's feeling this game, he's feeling confident, and he wants to make it hurt. Putting Fnatic through their paces. It does go down.
If they can't kill you, you might as well just keep peeking. Like, why not? 16-5 on Guardian, 15-3 on Rain. That is a couple of unbelievable scorelines 9 rounds into a game. Nicely done from Guardian, picking up the position of Rain when he was eliminated.
Oh, now this is nice. I love a bit of this. It has a timer on its, I guess, effectiveness, as second mid normally cuts it off at the heels, but actually it's a 1-for-1 trade out, which makes it pretty uncomfortable. They did remove the AWP away as well, so Guardian fell back away from it. Nico took a bit of damage. They've all kind of, they've been put into their place to a lesser standard, but Draken needed that. I think, obviously, Vision's a little bit questionable when it comes through Molotov, smokes, anything of the such, but...
Hey, he took his time on that one, didn't he?
Yeah, you've got to hope it was the Vision being hindered.
It's also one of the few times you've seen Fnatic take control of Banana and have some bodies there deep into these mid stages of the round. FaZe has been able to cheat some players over. They've been able to cheat Kerrigan on fast rotates from that B bomb site. Nico's been able to kind of chill there all on his own with that AWP without too much pressure put on him. Might be something Fnatic will want to establish in the later stages of this half. Croman is aggressive in mid. He's just falling back now. A little bit of utility usage. It does feel like they're going to end up hitting this B bomb site. Rain right in front of the smoke, spots the shoulder, but JW wins the fight. That's going to keep Croman firmly planted out towards A, and that's going to change Fnatic's mind. They were creeping up Banana, but no longer. Nico's going to have to make a decision quickly, and he's kind of going to have to guess. And at the moment, they're just split between the sites, and Nico's just saying, you know what, if they go A, I'll just save the AWP. It's all on Croman. 20 seconds, 1-on-4, alone in the site, and he's taken down.
This could be the first mark on the board now for Fnatic. It felt like the aggression was a nice idea, but got countered in a weird way. That second mid, I thought it was going to work out well in a way for FaZe, because it was just a bit of a back and forth, but they exploited it so nicely on the T side, so keeping 4 alive is essential for them now.
It's also, I mean, like, Guardian doesn't need to take that peak, right? But you also can't tell Guardian not to take that peak when he's sitting at whatever score he's at now. Like, it's, you know, just let him play the game. He's had a phenomenal performance here on Inferno, and Fnatic, we'll see if they can build anything off of this. The money, despite the fact that FaZe have won 9 in a row, it's not great. That's part of the reason I think why you saw Nico not try and go for a rotation over towards that bomb site, not try and risk too much. Cash just isn't quite there. Flusha is going to try and press the issue. Flashbang out to delay, and Nico's going to get away safely with this AWP. Another buy coming in for FaZe in this round, but it'll be the last one. If Fnatic can break them here, all of a sudden, despite all the issues and all the struggles, we'll have a game on our hands.
Maybe. 9-1 though, it's a condemning scoreline to get away from. Mentally very tough, but we saw that Fnatic were able to adjust and bring back the game in map 2, so clearly have the fortitude to do as such, but Guardian now back on it. Doesn't outstay his welcome. Falls away. Draken now trying to find that peak towards Banana. That nade though, but the reply is better. A kill will outdo that one nade.
Yeah, they'll take the nade damage for that frag. That's beautiful. Nice opening from FaZe. Now they can sink back into a more passive setup. Plenty of utility as well still in the hands of Kerrigan and Nico. 2 smokes and a Molotov for that B bomb site. Kerrigan can drop a smoke whenever he decides to leave.
That's a nice molly, though.
That is a nice Molotov. Forces Guardian away, but JW peeks right into the angle that Guardian wants on the fallback. Guardian's going to go for more. Exist can't stop him either. And even Crims went for a duel, but couldn't find the frag. Does eventually, as he returns. Bomb is down at ult mid. And Fnatic's in a 2-on-4. 1-on-4.
God, these double orbs. So tough to break past. And we're seeing Fnatic sadly being kind of pulled apart limb from limb. As Crims is the last man standing, and that earlier tussle left him already the walking wounded down to 20 HP. So with 30 seconds, there are very few options available. Pick your poison here. There isn't many places that are going to give you a welcome. There's Nico in a very awkward position for him to check for. He goes down. He gave it an attempt. He gave it a run. Didn't get anything out of it. Back on track for FaZe at 10-1.
The immediate rebuttal. That's got to be a bummer. If you're Fnatic, back down to low cash. I think they're going to buy here. They need rounds at this point. So I imagine they have two players who can get AKs. JW and Draken can get those. Crims could get a Galil if you wanted it, or an SMG. Obviously, an Exist and Flusha can either be the utility guys, or you can get them some upgraded pistols. But I almost feel like, you know, I'm usually in the more conservative side of the money expenditures in Counter-Strike. But this one, I think you kind of got to risk it just because you need more rounds on your T side.
There is limits, isn't there? It's like, as much as economy is incredibly important, at some point you go, we have one round. So, I think they're of the same mind as you. They're going for what they can. It's not a lot, though. But it does feel that FaZe have had such a stronghold thus far, and they've got to break it some way. CZs could be the answer. They seem to fit in the hands well before. Could again. JW and Draken are your danger men with the bigger guns, the real weaponry. Still plenty of utility to play with, but it feels as though we haven't really seen much of that put into play, really.
I mean, it's Fnatic, right? They don't necessarily love the set pieces, so you're not going to see too many of those. I think this time, they have a right idea. Go at the B bomb site. You haven't really done this too frequently, but the trouble is, if you're going to do it in this fashion so aggressively and so loud, that's a big switch up from what FaZe has seen earlier. So that's going to put, you know, the alarm bells are going to go off in their head and say, okay, maybe we'll keep Rain close by. He's shooting over at the moment. He's in CT spawn. He can be there quick, and yeah, they are indeed coming. Kerrigan's boosted up. There's one kill. Smoke is just too late. Too late, and no flashbangs in his face. Even though Nico goes down, this is going to be difficult for them to close it out. Spamming through, looking for one more kill, and Rain not able to find the planter. But still an advantage for FaZe, especially with all this follow-up damage.
Yeah, that's still not bad from FaZe. The spray through the smoke really caught Draken, but picking up that orb keeps him really relevant to this. He is playing over by the back box, so he could get something out of it. Peeks right back into Guardian. You don't get away with that sort of brazen attempt at trying to gain some real estate, as Crims and JW have to lock this one out. Crims knows he has to try and make a difference. The flash is actually pretty helpful, and the follow-up's even better. Kerrigan gets punished. The 1v2 now. He's got a chance, but he gets ripped away from him. In the very final throws, Rain is down to the wire, but the defuse, it's his. And another round for FaZe.
Oh, salute to Crims. What an attempt. And yeah, you're exactly right. He had to get aggressive, not only to find the kill on Guardian, but he had to find himself a new position to be able to kind of maneuver and use his mobility to kind of catch FaZe off guard. And it's almost there. 4 kills, the bomb plant. Just not enough. And now might be the situation where they kind of have to go back to the pistols. Now they can't invest. And yeah, that smoke is just half-second late. With no flash in his face, it's likely Kerrigan would have at least gotten one of those. Maybe not both.
Yeah. If you are wondering, over on the B stream, currently MIB are leading 11-8, but they did just pick up the second half at a good run. So keep that in mind. That could turn around. This is 11-1. This is a very FaZe-looking map for now. Good flash, though, going to force Guardian back, but we've seen this before. We need to see more from it.
Oh, but this is where he thrives. He loves these kind of fights. 1 kill, falling back into the site, flashbang to delay. There's only 2 players at the A-bomb site this time, but that means Kerrigan's free to flank. And Croman is very cautiously coming into CT spawn. It's just Flusha that he picks off. Kerrigan's up next, springs out in the open, can't win that battle. Still with Rain in the pit and Guardian in the site. The A-bomb site is locked down. Guardian's watching Halls and Lane for Rain. No utility. No exist. Guardian flicks up. Draken doesn't commit. Another shot missed. Crims might move forward to that AK, and he gets 1, but Guardian's not going to miss 3 in a row. Defensive dominance for FaZe. Not only on Inferno, also on Overpass to start this series.
Guardian again, back at the attempt. It feels like we've had the display of almost every player. Nico's not had a huge game yet. I mean, he's fine. He's totally fine. But to a Nico degree. Whereas everyone else, we're seeing some really big games from FaZe, but maybe you can save Nico for when you get to the big stadium. I mean, it also just goes to show that Fnatic haven't had a lot of emphasis on this B bomb side. He hasn't even had a chance to really build up the scoreline. Almost lands that flick. Kerrigan's there for the protection. The bodyguard still fighting as well, but he's fluffed his nade, so he's certainly going to get taken out, but he gets one more. That's beautiful work from Kerrigan, and Nico patiently waiting. Direct angle along the wall. There's a nice pop flash. The timing shot isn't going to hit. Chroman's here to help protect, but they're not pressing the envelope. They're not pressing the issue. Nico out in the open. One more time through the smoke. Draken comes and falls. And it's JW who might be able to find something tricky and does bait out a shot and find the kill. Nice from JW, but it is just him and Crims. The spray is so good. It's returned in some kind, but Rain in the meantime did creep his way forward, and the timing's so good from them. It's the way he waits until Crims sees him because he wants the panic. He wants... You want to see that player almost go, oh no! He wants to see the fear in his eyes before he takes him out. 13-1. Bloody hell. What can you say about that one? They just look so calm as well, don't they, FaZe? This just looks like, yep, this is what we intended to do. This was our plan from the start. Give them that little bit of hope on map 2, and then, it's all ours. Money again in dire straits. The very end of its wick here for Fnatic. CZ, bit of utility to kind of try and spread around, but it feels like nothing's working for them. It feels a little bit like on Overpass, where everything was working really well for FaZe. The only thing missing from that Overpass game is Chroman killing everything in sight, but you've got plenty of other players to pick up the slack. Not even a knock on Chroman. Randy's here with a narrow angle to get some information towards Boiler Room. Also ready to adjust towards halls, and when that smoke fades at the end of those halls, he will adjust his position. Or just resmoke. Now finds the gap between the two smokes, dodges the flashbangs as well with that more advanced position, and here comes the hit. This is a bit more of a set piece. Where's Fnatic going to go? Going to challenge Guardian on Rap side. Draken exists in Flusher to do that. But where's Guardian's thought as to people from CT Arch? Here it comes. The smoke's there, but they're coming bounding through, but it doesn't seem to make a blind bit of difference. Guardian is always up to task. 3 again, and Rain supports. It's 14-1. When you saw Guardian rotate, my first thought is Chroman's going to be pissed because there was no way Guardian was going to be able to stop everyone coming through the smoke, but he gets the first one, Chroman turns and gets a second, and then Guardian immediately shifts his attention when Chroman does over towards lane and balcony and is able to get 2 more into it. So wild scenes here as FaZe put up a 14-1 scoreline. And we mentioned it, that's not the guy you want to let heat up in round 1 of a half of a map, of a deciding map in a series. Guardian starts it off with an ace, and he ends the half at 26-7. Rain wasn't far off either, making a big game of this. But we're right back into the action. No rest for the Wicked, and it looks like FaZe are picking up the pace. They're going for a quick hit towards A, or at least they're putting players towards it. Rain, a little haphazard, but they are just feeling this game. They are taking every fight they can, and they are winning them. Oh, and the B-bomb side is completely wide open. They have the path to freedom before them. Gonna make it into this bomb site, smoke down into the choke point. They don't realize it's wide open, obviously. They're gonna find out soon enough. They have spent a lot of time just being cautious, which fair play to them, but bomb's gonna go down, and Flusha is here. 2 kills for Flusha. Need to make that a little bit more. That's a good step. 3 now. Gonna start building. You got a 3v3 though. Kit on exist. Both over by the side of Ruins. You got the double play on Banana is going to be a real get to get past as well. Chroman can just buy time, or do that, just get a kill, why not? Take down Crims, buy more time, Flusher gets past him, but it's now Flusher in a 1v2, and both these players in these sort of spots, you have one chance to hit both of these, and you're not going to get it. Job done, FaZe make it a 15, it's 1 round away. Should be a relatively easy affair as well, considering what Fnatic can fight with. 2100 is the most money they have on anyone, so it's all pistols. No kits. 2 smokes, 3 flashbangs, and if you're Fnatic, I don't necessarily know what you call in this scenario.
You want to try and get clever, that's all well and good, but I think most teams in this situation, if they're you know, up 15-1 like FaZe is, just kind of sit back a little bit. Be patient. Wait to see if anything crazy comes out.
Draken could be walking into a trap. He is. Croman's there. With loving arms, he'll take that. 4 kills standing in the way of FaZe and the semi-finals for Cologne. The big stage awaiting. This is a huge matchup for them. They know they are more than capable. Fnatic have been broken by this. There's still time for recovery, but it's just such a long road. And FaZe with every advantage now in their hands. Eyeing up Banana. Keeping this in check. It would only be Flusher here for now.
Does have a smoke. And a flashbang. Could make it costly to take this bomb site, but I don't think he can stop it entirely. Although, obviously, FaZe doesn't know Flush is the only one there, so that smoke is going to make them respect the defense of this bomb site a little bit more. Flush challenging through the smoke, and it looked like it was going to turn out okay. Until it didn't. FaZe isn't budging though. All 4 players still here. They just want to repeat the performance. Another smoke towards CT spawn, walking in slowly, but 25 seconds on the clock just kind of indicates this is going to be their end game. Guardian with a little bit of slow reactions there, gave Flush a chance. Crims and Exist have arrived, and they've actually run right into the blender. They've lost so many players. JW's got to fall back and wait for Crims. He's going to get re-aggressive. He wants to find Nico, and he can't do it. That would have been a great kill to have, but it's all on Crims.
Nico and Rain stand in his way. But for them, they are eyeing up those semi-finals. And Crims has to get past them now. It looks like it's all but over. It is now. FaZe on the warpath, making it through to the semi-finals. Fnatic are not out of the tournament, but they are down towards the quarterfinals. But what a performance from FaZe. That was just something deadly about that.
The two blowouts on Overpass and Inferno kind of really make you forget about Mirage, doesn't it?
A little bit. It does kind of wipe that away for a second.
You have Rain stellar on Overpass and Inferno. You have Guardian stellar on Inferno. You have Croman, who is incredible on Overpass as well. I mean, they just have so many players. That team is so deep. It's so scary.
Yes. So deep, so scary. That is actually indeed the case. No, there's nothing more to be said about that.
What came into your mind?
Nothing. You've summarized it very succinctly. No, there's a lot to be said, I can imagine, down the line for FaZe. If they can replicate this sort of brilliance, I think everyone's excited to see what they can do with Croman in this lineup. He seems to be fitting into the roster incredibly well.
Yeah.
But again, it's how far does that go? Can they muster that individual performance on the big stage?
I think they can. They have the players for it, and they have the experience. They've done it in the past. So we'll see. We'll see that it's going to start tomorrow when we get to the area. But for now, we're going to go down to the boys at the desk. What's up, Alex?
Hi, guys. Thank you very much. That was Pansy and Moses there with just a little scrap of sanity left, and so do we here at the panel.
Those bloody casters have lost their minds, Alex.
Yeah,
what were they talking about?
What were they talking about?
What was that all about?
Oh, nice try, I guess. We're watching the B stream as well. We're keeping our eyes on that because that's still going on. It's a very similar scenario to what you were watching, just a little bit less one-sided. MRBR up 13 to the 10 of Big.
Poor boy Smooya just hit some bangers of AWP shots to lock that.
He's done a couple of rounds in Inferno.
Yeah, if they lost that round, it would have been 15 for MIBR. It was a reset round.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so this is
behind the op.
This
My
is
boy Smooth.
Much more interesting than that game we just watched.
So yeah, we're going to try our best to do a post-game whilst also watching this.
If you want to replicate that game, if you want to pretend to be Fnatic, and you want to pretend like you're playing against FaZe Clan, what I want you to do is I want you to get up off your PCs, and I want you to try and walk through a wall. And I want you to do that as many times as you can. And then after you've maybe done it for about 5-7 minutes, that's what it's like playing FaZe.
CT side, when Guardian is playing like that, is just so horrible. I mean, when you watch how many times his name pops up and watch how many different times he's in a different part of the map, it doesn't matter where he's standing, what he's doing, he was always taking at least one with him.
I love that round specifically because he's in a position where he doesn't need to keep repicking. He can either just hide and wait for them to go into the crossfire of his teammate or jump away and survive for a little bit longer. But he's like, nah, man, I'm just going to bloodlust, keep repicking, keep getting kills, I'm Guardian. And then you look at Nico, who's not the main AWP for the team. He's like, I'm going to pick a line, I'm going to get a kill, I'm going to drop back to the next line. Yeah. You know? I'm going to AWP how it's meant to be done.
But look at this. This scoreboard does tell the tale, and absolutely perfectly as well. Though there was that middle mirage, they can't really hide and disguise the scores on the doors. When you take a look at the stats, it was 2 stomps and that little sandwich of mirage as well. And my goodness, Big just won another round. I'm sorry, you're going to have a bit of a weird segment here.
No, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, made in Brazil, if you are a Brazilian fan right now, their money is... It's in the bin. It's not bin juice. It's just in the bin. And Bigger looking poised here to get 12 rounds on the board. Yeah, no, absolutely. And you take a look at the top of the scoreboard, you'll see one name in particular, over 110 ADR, and he's standing by with Trace. It is Rain. And he did indeed make it rain both frags and indeed semi-final spots because they clinched it. And we're going to go ahead and check in with him now. He's standing by with Stunner.
Yes. For sure, indeed, all of that, this and the other. I'm standing with the architect, the man himself behind FaZe Clan. Of course, Rain, you guys put the power down on this last map. But overall, how are you feeling about your team coming into this best of 3, perhaps even the whole tournament?
We feel really confident. We focused a lot of individual skill at home and just getting ready to shoot some heads to the tournament. It's mostly our focus.
Most of the focus, that would make the most sense. How about this? I mean, you guys came in today, and you've got Chrome in the lineup. There's all this talk about lineups, this, that, and the other. But you guys are looking pretty solid. So what was the mindset coming into today?
Our mindset was, of course, getting a win. We played them a lot of times before, and we know how they play. Even though they have a new lineup now, they're still going to play the same way. It's Fnatic, after all. So we had them figured out.
Had them figured out down to a science. And now the other science I want to talk to you about is, well, you're in the semis now, which is just one step below to the grand finals where you could secure that Intel Grand Slam. A big deal. What are you guys talking about? Are you excited about the idea?
Yeah, I've never been this excited for a tournament in my life. Like, I constantly played deathmatch at home. I got ready. I really want to win this Grand Slam.
I think the Grand Slam is calling your name, Rain, and that name is also the architect. You can look that one up on your own time at home. Rain, congratulations on your W. And with that, I'm going to be sending it to the desk for the last time today. Take it away, Alex.
Thank you. And that's no exaggeration from Rain. Every single time I try and meet up with him for a drink at the bar at the end of a long day of Counter-Strike, he keeps saying, sorry, man, I'm DMing. Or he goes away. He comes for a sip of orange juice and heads straight back up to the practice rooms. He does not stop with the DM sessions.
And it shows, you know, he's such an influential force within that team. And I think we really have to look at this situation. If we're being honest, Astralis are the best team in the world right now. Even Carrigan in the little piece about FaZe makes that same comment. If they want to get to the grand final, they're most likely going to be going up against FaZe, and against Astralis. Now it's perfectly set on either side of the bracket. And that is a final that can go either way because we know what happens when you get to that best of 5. Anything's possible.
Yeah, well, while we do keep our eyes on the B stream, I think that's enough of us from the A stream. Just to round it out, we're going to bring up the bracket so you can see how things have ended up after what has been 3 days of the group stage. We head to the Lanxess Arena tomorrow, and I'm struggling to contain my excitement equal to Rain. They get the day off. He's going to be hitting the deathmatch servers hard. I'm sure you'll find him if you fancy it. But still, we do see Astralis and FaZe in the semis, Yanko. And outside, I mean, if you take a little glance at how those quarters are looking, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, we have a very interesting game here with Fnatic and Navi. I think their paths have been different than to what we expected, but the destination looks to be the same. And I think Navi is a much stronger team at the moment. You know, Fnatic with the roster changes, I don't think they're near to a level where they are ready to battle some of these teams in best of 3 series.
I think something exciting about that matchup is if we do get the JW from the first few days of the group going up against like a simple off-tap and Electronic playing well, and it can be more of a brawl. Look, it's not going to be a hugely strategical game of Counter-Strike. You've seen over the last couple of days with Navi as well. They're more into these tactical purchases, these force buys, keeping the pressure on, and Fnatic are built from the same vein. So that could be a very explosive match, and G2 obviously sitting there waiting for the result right now, like everybody is with bated breath. Made in Brazil going up against Big, and it looks like it's 13-13 right now, as Stewie and Fur have to save.
If I had to guess what G2 are up to, I think they're sitting down on the beanbags and they're watching this game because they know either of these squads are going to be stepping into the arena against them and that gorgeous crowd. It's all coming up tomorrow, and I'm really, truly excited for that. Now, that was the upper bracket and the lower bracket. We lost some teams along the way. We want to just quickly remind you of how those quarterfinals are going to be coming in order as well. That'll be, of course, Fnatic Navi first, and that G2 game will be happening second if you've got to do life and stuff. The point I was trying to make prior to that schedule was just teams lost. We've lost Ents today. There's been so many big names, a lot that have fallen by the wayside. Any huge surprises, Yanko, with the end of the group stage?
I think maybe Mouseport dropping out so early, even with a stand-in and Snacks. I mean, the core of the team is still there, and the core of the team is so strong, and they've been playing so well for a long time now. They made the finals in Brazil with a stand-in, so you would expect them to at least make the playoffs.
There was a tweet that came out yesterday that said they have made the playoffs of every tournament since E-League in September 2017, and then as soon as they replaced Stico, it all falls apart.
Asterisk. Their first performance with Sunny and Stico was equally as funky.
Most likely. But when you what are you changing? What were you? Mousesports were still a top 3 to top 5 team in the world.
Like, Snacks is not a good replacement. That's not the point of bringing up that stat. Was there really a need to change something?
I see what you mean. Absolutely. And consistency certainly isn't bad. If you get to semi-finals every time, look at Carrigan now. What were you saying? Sorry,
the other biggest one, I think, is Liquid. They fell really flat. I think they're going to be disappointed in themselves here. The whole idea was to go home and look at their map pool and reassess going forward, and they've come out and they've looked very average. And the other one is NIP, which is possibly their worst tournament as an organization ever.
I think on that bombshell, we will leave it. We've lost many good teams along the way, but we still have the very latest and greatest in Counter-Strike stepping into the Lanxess Arena tomorrow. Whether you're joining us in the crowd or joining us at home, we can't wait to see you there and share more memorable Counter-Strike moments. As we leave you, though, I will remind you once again to check out DHL's Moments That Deliver.
ESL1 Cologne.
Incendiary out.
Did I seriously get that dude in smoke?
Yo.